Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the Fresh Cut.
I'm Noah Parker.
I'm still Erin Donovan.
All right. And, well, let's not get to our guest yet.
We like the surprise.
Yeah, we like to make them wait. We like to make them feel like they're wasting their time here.
Even though if you follow us on Twitter, at Noah and Erin, you know who we have with us.
Speaking of which, on our Twitter, we have links to our past 2 episodes that are now on YouTube. Are they called episodes?
I think we can go with episodes.
All right.
Broadcasts, maybe?
Sure. I'll delete my tweet. All right, anyways. Oh, one more thing. A lot of you know, it's very near and dear to our hearts, but the season of Lent is coming up. Many Christians give something up to grow closer to Jesus before Easter. And I just wanted to ask that maybe let's not give up radio this year.
Or if you're going to give up radio, give up the lunch crew.
Yes. But do not give up the Fresh Cut. You can even say, I think I'm going to give up radio this year, but not the Fresh Cut. They're more of a podcast.
That's our vibe we're going for.
Kristen Branch is here.
That's the guest. Surprise.
Hey. Thanks for having me here.
Thanks for coming.
And that's the show.
Tune in next week. Amy Long might be back.
Or Bill Greer, here to talk about the greatest Milligan conspiracy of all. Why is tuition going up every year?
Good grief.
Oh, well, we're graduating. Not Erin, though. You're
stuck.
paying $40,000 next year. Are we allowed to, talk about this? Whatever.
We just can't say the word I want to say on the radio, but I can't say on the radio, Bandit. I think we're allowed to talk about tuition.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, here we are. We're going here. Can't really complain about it.
And I doubt Bill Greer is listening. If he is, I dare him to scratch my back.
That's a reference I don't think most people will get, and it was actually kind of weird, and I'm gonna take that out of the YouTube version. Not really. I don't edit those.
Don't censor me, Noah.
Okay. First Amendment. What's on the schedule for today, Erin? That's what some people say instead of schedule. It's inefficient.
I've never heard that before. Kristen, have you?
Yeah, I would say I've heard that.
It's
but
more
I
of
mean,
an annoying
I've been
people
friends
thing.
with Noah since freshman year,
Yeah, well,
so...
I don't say that. I'm not saying I say that. That's not fair.
Is this like a regional thing?
No.
We're not going to regionals.
As someone from this area, no.
Okay. No. Sometimes the whole northern thing, the other day, we're just going to go off on a tangent. JD said that someone licked his bottom. And I was so confused. It means someone beat him badly.
Oh, okay.
Instead of saying kicked my butt, the southern version he said is licked his bottom. And I had to fact check him, and everyone at church was like, "Oh yeah," and they didn't think it was weird at all. And I was
disgusting.
I've literally never heard of that.
Okay, Kristen, I'm on your side of the southern.
JD accidentally said something wrong, and I think he paid off your entire church to get by.
I wouldn't put it past him, but I mean, JD, I know you're in class right now, but if you ever decide to listen to these, we love and appreciate you. Also, if Mitchell's listening, please don't tell JD I did this to him until the whole Milligan Radio listening.
Also, if you follow us on Twitter and happen to be a fan of the Patriots,
turn this off right now.
Erin got a little angry yesterday. She got a little emotional. She's a big Eagles fan. She's from Philly. That's slang for Philadelphia. She said, "You're not welcome here," and who am I really to...
I didn't consult Noah on that tweet, but...
You don't consult me on anything. How do you follow the people you follow on there? I noticed the most random people we're following. I just followed us.
Well, I thought that was a little conceited. So whenever Milligan students pop up, I'm like, if I know them and appreciate them, I follow them. Sorry, I just touched Kristen's thigh, sorry.
Oh. Okay.
It's fine.
Don't tell Jacob.
He's in class right now.
Oh, what class is he in?
I think he's in some kind of diagnostics class with Dr. Mills in the counseling program. 4-hour class. Cut short today.
We'll be praying for him.
Erin and I almost took a 3-hour class on Mondays. Instead, we decided to
do a radio show right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Lord forgive us.
Yes. Oh, sweet Lord. Be with us. Oh, my wife is watching. She said, she's listening, I should say. She said if I don't call her out, then she gets mad.
Hi, Corinne.
Hi, Corny. She was my old roommate, and I love her so much.
Yes.
Now she's Noah's roommate.
She's... Only Corinne's roommates are allowed on this show. No Corinne's.
Well, that's awkward.
Oh, well. She's too mean to me.
Well,
anyways.
I'm more saying I've never been Corinne's roommate.
Okay, I mean... Or people that are not Corinne's roommate, but are also... Basically, Corinne's not allowed on the show.
Corinne, I said that we should bring you and Gabby the prison dog on.
Yes!
Corinne's bad for the brand.
She's your wife.
I'm just...
This is getting taken out of the YouTube
Okay, do we want to know
version.
the real reason?
Yes.
She only watched half our show last week. She doesn't support us. She doesn't care about us.
Corinne, come on. We have better... better is a relative term, but we have some more interesting conspiracy theories this week. It's still about someone dying, but...
That's just the heart of the show.
What's better than a death conspiracy theory, am I right?
My wife supporting me enough to listen to the whole show is better, I would argue. But anyways, this is the longest we've ever kind of gone on at the beginning of the show.
That might be good, though, because sometimes we run out at the end.
Yeah, there was a good 30 seconds of blank space after we turned it off last week. I mistimed things.
Maybe Taylor Swift was listening and just appreciated it.
Funny.
I don't believe you.
Okay. Erin, what's on the schedule? I don't actually know how to say that word anymore. I said schedule once, and now it felt weird saying schedule.
Do you say picture or picture?
I say picture. I also say crayon and not crown.
My dad says picture. What about library or library?
The library.
He also says library. Hope Dad's not listening because I'm calling you out. I'm just assuming everyone I talk about is listening.
Welcome to the Fresh Cut. The first thing we do is insult our family.
You started it. You insulted Corinne.
You ended it? All right.
That means I won.
Kristen, I'm sorry. I'm sorry we brought you on this show.
I'm just glad to be here.
Do you have any family members you want to insult on the radio?
Not really.
She's better than both of us.
Nobody listens, Kristen. You can say it.
I don't know how to check for our people who are listening. Dalton can figure
Yeah, Dalton's tried like 2 weeks in a row to show us how to find our viewers. But he's failed. He also failed to romantically interest Amy Long 2 weeks ago, so we'll have to bring her back later and try matchmaking again.
We have some contenders lined up, so Amy, I don't know if you're listening, but we'll do better next time. Okay, you want to talk conspiracy theories?
Is she ever going to come on? Just like we talk about her so much when she's not on the show that it's vaguely creepy. I don't even know her except for when she was on the show the first time.
I really thought about our Twitter, like, only following Amy.
I think that would have been funny. But instead you followed like half of Milligan. Now poor little Eric Meadows is just walking to class and he sees something called the Fresh Cut following him.
Listen, that will get more people to listen to us.
I don't think so.
That was my game plan, partially.
Well, I think we're going to have to do like raffle tickets.
What are we raffling?
I don't know.
Gabby the prison dog.
No. Not my
Just kidding,
dog.
Corinne. I know that you love that dog. I would never do anything to harm her. All right. I'm going to skirt this over a little bit now. I don't have to break my back. Oh, that was terrible sounding. All right. So,
what on earth?
Listen. We just need some... Is it WD or DW40? I always forget.
I don't know.
All right. Well...
WWJD.
McDonald.
Clever.
Thank you.
Kristen's not laughing. It's JD McDonald.
I'm laughing. It's one of those silent laugh things.
He's a treasure.
He can be the prince of Milligan's campus if Amy Long is the princess.
Well, then we're not setting them up because he has class.
He has class, but also like he's a prince, so he has class.
Next.
Okay. So I'm hoping all of you know who Abraham Lincoln is, because that's who our conspiracy theory is about today. So you hopefully also all know that he is dead. And well, I might have just informed Kristen, but
And who's the president? Who's sleeping in the White House?
Corey in the house.
Oh, okay.
God,
That's what a... Is this our brand now? Disney Channel memes?
I could live with that. No, it cannot. Okay, well, we've already talked for 10 minutes. That's pretty good.
What a waste of time.
Okay, so Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. Agree?
Sure.
Okay. I got an agree and a yes. So a lot of people think John Wilkes Booth shot Abraham Lincoln. Right?
Yes, you really emphasized Booth for some reason. Are you going to suggest it was a different John Wilkes? A lot of people thought John Wilkes Booth assassinated the president, but it was actually John Wilkes
Tooth.
I was going
A
over
dentist.
the table group, but-
Listen, you overemphasized the wrong word earlier today.
Why do you always bring up our arguments from earlier in the day?
You're going to critique me on the radio. I'm going to do it right back.
All right.
Listen, I have to present this conspiracy theory. Okay, so yeah, Abraham Lincoln got shot, and so the question is, was he responsible by himself for the assassination?
She's talking about the president dying, and she hasn't shed a single tear.
I already did.
No respect for this country.
Well, I mean,
I guess she did. She wasn't on the side of the Patriots yesterday. So.
I mean, Eagles are hello, Philadelphia.
Hello, Kitty.
That was freshman year, Erin. That's another conspiracy theory. Okay, we need to go back to Abraham Lincoln.
We have never been this bad before.
I guess it's like week 3, so like it's our third strike.
we gave up.
Okay, so the question is, was Booth solely responsible for Abraham Lincoln's assassination, or was he simply a tool in a much larger conspiracy?
Well, all men are tools, so makes sense.
I feel like I can't comment on that. Okay, so theory number 1. Andrew Johnson was involved with Booth. So,
romantically?
That's next week's conspiracy theory.
Oh, okay.
You know what they say.
Spoiler.
If you can think of it, somebody ships it.
Ugh.
I've never heard that. Wait, say that into the mic.
It's a common rule, apparently, on Tumblr, that if somebody can think of it, someone ships it.
Agreed.
I am going to have to, delete those weird mic sounds from the YouTube version.
Nah, make it authentic. Okay, so approximately 7 hours before shooting the president, Booth dropped by the Washington Hotel, which was Vice President Andrew Johnson's residence. Upon learning from the front desk that neither Johnson...
Was that like presidential version of The Sweet Life or something? Mr. Mosby wouldn't have been there, actually, now that I think about it. But we're in a better place now.
Back to the Disney Channel memes, I see. Upon learning from the desk clerk that neither Johnson nor his private secretary was in the hotel, Booth wrote the following note, quote, "Don't wish to disturb you." He has no punctuation, so maybe he's related to the Zodiac Killer, because it's "Don't wish to disturb you, space, capital A, are you at home, question mark, J. Wilkes Booth, quote. Browning testified before the military court that he found the note in his box later that afternoon. Did Johnson and Booth know each other? In the 1997 publication Right or Wrong, God Judge Me, The Writings of John Wilkes Booth, it was stated that Booth had previously met Johnson in Nashville, Warren, Tennessee, in February of 1864. At the time, Booth was appearing in the newly opened Woods Theater. Also, author Hamilton Howard in Civil War Echoes, 1907, 90-year difference, made the claim that while Johnson was the military governor of Tennessee, he and Booth kept a couple of I forgot about this part. Kept a couple of sisters as mistresses and oftentimes were seen in each other's company.
I'm going to start, send me your links before we do this show, and we're going to have to, review them first.
Well, okay, so Lincoln has essentially ignored Johnson after Johnson's embarrassing behavior on Inauguration Day. We all know Andrew Johnson was party boy, wild. Mary Todd Lincoln felt Johnson was involved, and then she wrote to her friend, but that quote is... Okay, so some members of Congress also thought Johnson was involved, and a special assassination committee was established to investigate any evidence linking Johnson to Lincoln's death. Nothing suspicious was ever found by the committee, yet a belief by some Americans that Johnson was somehow involved with Booth continued for many years. That's theory number one. There's a few. There's a few of them. I'm going to just pick a couple because there's actually 7, and that's way too many. If you want to look this up, I'll tweet the link out of where I'm reading my sources from. Let's see. Lincoln's assassination was the result of a Confederate plot.
Oh, the bad guys. Although they do still sell quite a bit of memorabilia these days.
Yeah. Moving on.
Okay.
The idea that Lincoln was killed as part of a grand conspiracy by the Confederates arose almost immediately after the assassination. Makes sense, you know? Coded letters found in Booth's trunk back in the National Hotel tied him to the Confederacy. This theory has undergone a marked revival in the past 20 plus years. And then it talks about some books and stuff that don't really whatever. So proponents of the Confederate Grand Conspiracy point out that as the Confederacy's situation deteriorated, more daring and reckless planning was needed. Lincoln was viewed as a legitimate wartime target. This was especially true after the Union's failed raid on Richmond that had been approved by Lincoln himself and was evidence of Lincoln's increasing determination to take whatever steps were necessary to end the war. We have some guests coming in. Okay, and so... The theory of a Confederate grand conspiracy portrays Booth as a rebel agent working to organize a band of men to kidnap Lincoln. When Richmond fell, the plans turned to assassination. At first, the plan was to blow up the White House. I don't even know if you could do that back then.
I mean, maybe they meant, a party.
It is Andrew Johnson. But that's the first conspiracy, not this one. And so then when they realized that it probably wasn't going to work, they were like, nah, let's just kidnap and then assassinate him. The theory of Confederate... I'm on the radio and I'm having trouble pronouncing this word. Complicity in the assassination of Abraham Lincoln is accepted by several of the current Lincoln assassination historians, scholars, researchers, and writers. Okay. That's the big claim for that one. This one's my personal favorite, that the Roman Catholic Church was behind Lincoln's assassination.
Naturally.
Bet you didn't see this one coming.
That's why you tithe, Johnson.
Got him. Roasted. So in 1866, an ex-priest by the name of Charles Chiniquy. I didn't really practice reading these out loud before.
What? I don't think you read this before.
I did, but very quickly.
Yes. Ugh.
He wrote a book titled 50 Years in the Church of Rome, which portrayed the assassination of Lincoln as a Catholic grand conspiracy. This guy maintained that Jefferson Davis had offered $1 million to someone who would kill the author of the bloodshed. So basically, they were all mad about the war, and they're like, you should kill the guy that started the war. And so in 1856, Lincoln had defended Chiniquy in court. He had quarreled with the bishop and then was sued for slander by one of the bishop's friends. And then so a morals change was also involved, yada, yada, yada. And so some felt that he felt that some Jesuits held Lincoln responsible for the settlement. Lincoln, no. I can feel you just looking at me. It's very nerve-wracking.
What am I supposed to look at? Okay.
Okay.
I'll look at our guests that are patiently waiting for us outside.
So, in 1897, Thomas M. Harris, a member of the 1865 Military Commission, wrote a book that involves the Roman Catholic Church and Lincoln's assassination. And talks about more books. And so his opening sentence was, "In all the bloody history of the papacy, perhaps in no one man, as Abraham Lincoln, was there concentrated such a multitude of reasons for his annihilation by that system." And Inquire into the Assassination of Abraham Lincoln is another book. And among other points, he maintained that the majority of the American Catholics were in favor of slavery and opposed to Lincoln. So the author said in the totalitarian papacy considered Lincoln a major enemy, and that the church for centuries had been involved in numerous instances of the forcible removal of heads of state whom it condemned.
We're writing summaries from now on. You're going to bring a summary, or I'll write one beforehand.
So those are the top 3 conspiracy theories.
All right.
Okay. Kristen, what are your thoughts?
Well, one of the first thing that pops into my head is National Treasure's Book of Secrets at the very beginning with John Wilkes Booth.
First of all, when we're talking about the death of Abraham Lincoln, maybe the right phrase to use is not one of the first thing that pops into my head.
Oh, wow. Too soon, Noah. Too soon.
I don't think so. It's been a while.
Well, remember, I just found out that Abraham Lincoln's dead, so.
If it hadn't been long enough by the time we started the radio, then it certainly is after Erin read, like, for the past 3 years of my life about possible Abraham Lincoln murderers.
Well, anyway, one of the ones that I've never really heard of was the Andrew Johnson one. Yeah. And I guess it's from where I'm from, Tennessee. You know, we see Andrew Johnson. We learned about in schoolhouse. He's like, oh, he's this great guy.
Yeah, we did get a lot of
like I remember
Andrew Johnson praise in our schools.
Propaganda.
We get Jackson a lot too.
Unfortunately, 4th grade, I distinctly remember having to make a timeline and putting Andrew Johnson on my little map.
Oh, we have a caller. Thank goodness. All right.
So pick it up.
Hello?
Hello, this is Mitchell.
It's Mitchell.
It's Mitchell, and we can't hear him.
Bird dog, help!
Kayla Perney, show us how to use the phone.
Do you have
It's
to
on,
use the phone to
and
not
it's
be able
up.
to use
All right, the phone's on.
We turned it up.
That's up. Do we have to turn the control room up?
Try that. Mitchell?
We can hear him in the headphones.
I can't.
I just wanted to make sure we could hear him on the radio.
Well, if you can hear him in the headphones, he's on the radio.
Yeah, I can't hear him. Okay, no, you take this call. I can't hear him in the headphones.
I don't think he's loud enough then. Mitchell, what's up?
Well, first I would like to point out that the death of Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
Oh, you just hung up on him.
Our station manager just hung up on him.
This is going terribly. I don't know if we can put this one. Mitchell, please call back. Prendog accidentally hung up on you when he leaned over the thing. He's crawling on the table now. He's messing with knobs like he did on Thursday. Mitchell, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Perfect. And you
Sorry
sound
about
better
that.
now.
I think that was me.
Well, we'll blame Prendog anyway. What's up?
Well, as I was saying, first, hearing about Abraham Lincoln's death immediately fills me with immense sorrow and grief.
Amen.
Unlike some unpatriotic swine.
I don't think she can hear.
He called you unpatriotic swine.
That's probably for the
Well, that's fine. I mean, I listened to Hamilton. I know this 1776 musical. I would consider myself pretty patriotic.
She only cares about the stuff before America became a country. All right, continue. You've got my interest.
Of course.
But also, we're still, why are we not considering that it was the vampires that killed Abraham Lincoln?
Kristen Mitchell suggests it's the vampires that killed Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I mean, whenever you think about it, he did kill a whole train of vampires that were involved. I mean, if you watch the movie, you know, Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, you learn about his secret career as a legendary vampire hunter. And, I mean,
Exactly.
they were on the side of the Confederates, and he did slay many vampires during the Civil War time. It makes sense, I guess.
Yikes.
Yeah. Unless it was the vampires who infiltrated the Catholic Church.
The vampires
Church.
infiltrating
Or the-
the Catholic Church.
Or the Catholic Church infiltrating the vampires.
Or
Or vice versa. Well, first of all,
Wait, was Andrew Johnson a vampire?
was Andrew Johnson a vampire? I avoid all things vampires, so I'm useless in this conversation.
I mean, based on the love that Andrew Johnson has gotten in Tennessee schools, we know at the very least he must be extremely white. Whether or not that equates to pale, I'm not sure.
I mean, and this just proves that he was immortalized in the history books. Immortalized?
Ooh.
Coincidence? I think not.
Wow, this
Besides-
is turning.
I've never seen a picture of him.
I've seen a couple pictures of him, but I never noticed this in APUS history, but it always did look like a 3-year-old's doodle. I mean, like, doodle as in drawing.
Right. So who knows if that's an actual picture or if that's actually him?
Could be both. That doesn't make sense.
And it's not him.
Well,
Maybe it's his twin.
we don't
secret
really...
twin?
The science on vampires isn't exactly up to date. Most of the community is still ignoring them.
Just because I'm from Pennsylvania doesn't mean I know much about Transylvania.
Okay.
That's actually Erin's LinkedIn bio. She's gotten 7 jobs this week. Is that how LinkedIn works?
Yes.
But also another Abraham Lincoln related what are these called?
Conspiracy theories?
Conspiracy theories, yeah. I've heard that he had syphilis. Could you guys look into that?
No. We have read enough.
Mitchell, come on and be a guest, and I'll bring that up when you come.
Okay.
We have a really, really detailed continuity in our radio show.
Abraham Lincoln is a thing that ties us together.
You never know when plot points are going to come back up again.
Abraham Lincoln and Amy, of course.
We have a... Nope, that almost sounds weird. Never mind.
We could set Amy Long up with Abraham Lincoln, or at least a reenactor. We're still on the phone with Mitchell. Mitchell, are you anything else?
Do you have any questions you want to ask regarding or not regarding Abraham Lincoln?
No, I was told to call in with advice though, or asking for advice.
Yeah, that was trying to prompt you for that.
I'm not sure what kind of advice I'm supposed to ask for.
Well, what's going on in your life? What do you need help with?
Are you lonely or potentially poor?
Lonely or potentially poor?
Yes.
I mean, like, if you have a job for me, yeah.
No. Yeah.
Not helpful.
You can make a lemonade stand, I guess. Probably like, if I were to, I shouldn't give up too much advice in case I ever go into the business, but I would recommend setting it outside the chapel, like 11:40 Tuesday, Thursday. It'd be smart time.
Okay. Well, okay, I do have I need some advice on how to become more competitive in the haircutting business.
Well,
Ooh, that's hard on Milligan campus.
are we talking about like business-wise,
Oh, God.
or are we talking about like total amount of haircut? At which point, I guess I would suggest buzz cuts.
He wants to know how to become more competitive in the haircutting business. Whenever people ask me if I cut hair,
Amount of head.
amount-
Amount of
Okay,
head.
heads, not hair.
Whose hair I've cut, yeah.
well, yep.
Not individual strands.
Okay.
Whenever people ask me if I cut hair, I say no, but Mitchell Hancock does. You could ask other people to do that.
Okay.
We could go like together, like you cut, I dye.
Here we go.
I think it's a marketing problem. Your last
Do it in
name,
that order, too.
naturally. Your last name is Hancock, am I right? Why is it not haircut? Got the same ring to it. Be an easy transition.
Mitchell haircut.
So if my last name is what is stopping me... Wait, never mind. I shouldn't say that on the radio.
You're right.
Yeah, we weren't going to go there.
We can't say the word that I want to say, but want to say on the radio, bandit, or whatever.
I bleeped it out on Twitter. Put 5 stars. And not as a review.
I will text the joke to you because it's still funny and worth saying.
Thank you.
So, but that's all I had then. Thank you for having me on there.
Hey, thanks for calling in, Mitchell.
Thanks for being on the air.
Wait, we have to turn this off before we hang up.
All right. Bye, Mitchell. We can't let them say bye. That's a new rule.
We have to have the last word.
Sorry, that was probably confusing for you, Kristen, but we don't actually know how to do anything well here in terms of audio, so I don't know what the best way for you to understand what they're saying is.
The class we were supposed to take for 3 hours on Monday was an audio class.
Yes. We wanted to cut to the chase. What were we talking about? Kristen, do you have more to say about...
Madison said the people calling in need to be turned up. It's pretty quiet.
Great. Just great.
Madison, we got your text. We're going to take that into consideration. All right, let's get back to your views on Abraham Lincoln. Kristen.
Oh man, I can't even remember where I left off.
Gee, thanks, Mitchell.
I know it was Andrew Johnson. I think I remember that it was just, we never really hear a conspiracy theory about Andrew Johnson. I mean, technically, we never hear anything bad about Andrew Johnson, and at least where I was from. I mean, for crying out loud, over at Tusculum University in Greenville, they have a museum exhibit dedicated to just Andrew Johnson's life.
The South is so weird.
I mean, we have, like, mountains.
I got them tattooed on my foot. Hope my dad's not listening. He doesn't know that.
Hopefully not to scale.
I'm too small for that.
Oh, okay. Well.
So, I'm just gonna... Do you have a conspiracy theory you agree most with?
I guess I'm going to have to go with the conspiracy theory about the Confederacy plot, just because that's the one I've heard the most between, I think, National Treasures. Here I go back to that. Talked about it, and then also I'm pretty sure whenever I was a little kid, I watched a lot of History Channel things with my dad, and we watched a full-blown John Wilkes Booth documentary, and they used that as one of their pushing ties.
Okay. Sorry, Kristen, but you're not actually important enough to finish a point.
That's fine.
Hello?
Hello? We're being asked what are your thoughts on Donald Trump's hair, Kristen?
Because we're talking about presidents. Also, I don't know how to make the audio better.
Who is that?
Can we ask who this is?
President.
Well, great. Now I find out that Abraham Lincoln is dead, and now Donald Trump is president. I'm just learning so much so quickly on this show.
We're also a History Channel radio show.
Yeah, great.
Do you have any thoughts, Kristen?
Well, I mean, I'm not... it's not John Stamos' hair, so it's not the best, but it's more than what some have. So... I'm going to give it maybe a 2, but it definitely does not belong on a teddy bear. Look it up. Trumpy bears. A total nightmare.
I can't actually hear.
Yeah, Wait, Perdog did something over there.
I'm afraid to mess with any of those. So, I am very sorry. Loyal caller, but we cannot actually hear you, and we don't know how to fix anything. So, what? Well, we're just gonna say goodbye for now. I'm so sorry.
Apparently, my family's listening, so if that was you, Dad, thanks.
Well,
That's why you didn't want to insult your family earlier. Well, we are so sorry about that, and we will continue. Well, we're not going to do anything about it.
Yeah. We're going to let Kristen finally finish her point.
I mean, I guess that's my point. I feel like out of the rankings, I feel like the Confederacy plot's probably the most liable. Shocked about the Andrew Johnson theory, but I mean, I guess that can make sense. Politics is a messy thing, and I've never heard of the Roman Catholic theory, and so I don't really know how to process that.
I like the idea that's the Roman Catholic Church. I was a former Roman Catholic, so I think I have room to say this.
Well, I'm not quite ready to step to the role of assuming an entire religious organization is behind the murder of a president, but I will suggest maybe it was just a boring play. Maybe he's just...
Then Milligan better watch out. Just kidding.
He died of boredom, and his last words were... That was really mean, actually. Jeez.
I was in the play.
Okay.
It's a little self-deprecating humor. Not directed at Kristen. I realize, as we have the lead of the play sitting right next to me, that could have been taken. That was a joke at me.
Okay,
not Kristen. We have Taylor Martin and Maeve Lee sitting outside waiting to come in and talk. Come on in, guys. They're walking,
they're coming.
Getting up out of the chairs. They're slinking over here. Mitchell also asked who was on the phone. I had to tell him I have no idea.
There's not enough room in here for all of us.
That's the kind of the theme of this show.
Why do you...
My question
It
is
would be easier
specifically
for them
for
to-
Kristen Branch. Kristen, what do you do when you match with a Milligan student on Tinder?
Kristen, you can use my microphone, please. You got to get really close to it, though, so let me,
Like, is this just an in general question or personal?
Asking for a friend.
For a friend. Okay, well, I mean...
That friend is Erin Donovan.
And it's someone...
I'm being called out on my own radio show.
And it's someone that is on Milligan campus.
Of course.
I mean, you might as well. I mean, sit in the grill, public place, talk, some conversation, a little Bible study,
Bible study and chill.
Exactly. She gets it. Maeve gets it.
Radio, you just missed it. Maeve Lee's response was Bible study and chill.
Yes, Erin. Repeat the things we're not sure we're supposed to be saying on the air.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Do you think Amy's on Tinder? I'm worried that Tinder's gonna beat us to the punch on that one.
We have to find Amy Long's future husband. That's the whole reason we started this show. That's a lie. Maeve, do you have a question? All right. Wait, what about you had the other one?
Oh, yeah.
So how do you walk up Sutton Hill while also talking on the phone? Because your girl's out of breath.
Noah, do you want to take this one?
Oh, a wise sage, actually, something of a hermit even, figured out a very, very ingenious technique for this exact hill on campus.
What is it?
Have you heard of Nicholas Joel Baylor?
I have.
Taylor has. I have.
If you catch a ride on someone's back up the hill, you do not have to walk up the hill. You can focus all your energy on phone calls and
Which we're not very good
presumably
at.
telling people 10 out of 10
Or
in the case of Nick Joel Baylor,
true.
who also has a radio show, but we have not yet attacked on air.
We don't hate him.
Watch out, lunch crew.
Do you have any more questions, friends?
I don't know.
Who's your favorite Milligan radio show?
Say Music Buffs Live.
No. All right, you can leave.
I don't listen.
We know no one
Ask her how
listens.
you listen to the radio.
I'm actually pretty mad you guys are here because that means you don't even have to pull it up on your phone. That's less viewers for us.
Wait, yeah.
Caleb's laughing somewhere because we keep calling it viewers.
Listeners?
Thanks for stopping by, friends. Did we ever say this thing, the legal part?
I let Caleb say it
Okay.
on his recorded radio thing. It's pretty extreme. He keeps it sounds like he's in a tunnel and there's a lot of echoes and he's like.
Maybe he was. Maybe it was he was really inspired by Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Maybe.
Like it. Love it.
It's the happiest I've ever heard him sound. Sounds real pumped up.
When I made that one
Loves
joke I can't
radio.
repeat on the radio, that was the happiest I've ever heard him. Text in if you want to know what that joke is. Haha. Okay, Madison Jones might be calling in soon. She's currently at the basketball game. If you're listening, sorry you're not at the basketball game, but glad you're listening. Dalton! Dalton, do you have any questions? We're doing an advice segment right now.
We never officially announced it. We're actually in the middle of Kristen Branch talking about Confederate conspiracies. CC.
Because I'm such an expert.
Where's Perny? That's my question.
His question for the fresh cut is, where is Perny? So I'm not calling him Pern Dog. Some call him Perny Sanders.
You call him Perny.
So does JD McDonald. Some call him Caleb Perney. Some call him our station manager, Caleb Perney. That's what Mitchell calls him on the radio. Mitchell Hancock does during Music Buffs Live. Sorry, Noah.
Stupid.
You're stupid. He called it stupid.
Dalton, we already had you on our show, so why don't you get out of here?
I'm waiting on Perny. Chill.
He's here.
Jeez.
Just yell louder.
No.
He's shutting the door on us.
Okay,
He
well.
thinks he's won, but he just yelled louder. He took my advice.
We just can't have a coherent show.
That's not really our thing.
Things go so poorly.
And then we put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when we don't spend every hour of the day vlogging, I don't know what else we're supposed to do.
Well,
Kristen, do you follow the vlog? I think.
Oh yes, through Snapchat, I'm an avid viewer of the vlog. Big fan. Was watching it today, forcing my fiance to watch with me.
Okay, stop talking, Kristen. Your time is up. Here we have phone. Which goes first? Phone or... Hello?
Hello? Oh, crap.
All right, we're not getting anything, so... Okay,
Oh,
they hung up. That hurt more than I thought it was going to.
If you want to try again, or you can always call my cell phone. We did that one time for Amy, when Amy called Amy.
Alternatively, we clearly have problems with call-ins.
I'm just trying to solve the problem.
Okay.
Madison said, I don't think that's the right number. I just called some random dude answered. No, that was Noah.
The random phone call was my brother.
Kristen, how much marketing did you do for this?
I was really excited, remember?
We don't even tell people about this.
My
We have our Twitter, and that's it.
I don't think my family members have listened to this once. I asked my sister to watch today. She said, no, I'm going to sleep.
Which is fair.
That's why I can also insult her on the radio if I choose to.
Yeah. You probably should. We don't want anyone thinking they're safe from our wrath.
Except Nick Joel Baylor, of course.
Oh, he's not safe.
Oh, no. All right. Hello?
Yes, hello?
Is that Madison Jones I hear and the listeners probably can't hear?
Yes, it is.
Oh, you sound much louder than whoever that one guy
this
was.
is much
I hear
better.
myself on the radio right now.
You can't hear yourself?
No, I just hear you guys talking to that other chick.
Well,
There is a delay if you're listening online.
Oh, yeah, I am listening online.
So there's
Okay.
there's about a 30-second to a 1-minute delay. Fun fact.
Okay. Well,
we're not that fun.
hello.
Hi, Madison. Good to have you back. Kind of.
Yeah,
Kind of have you back. It's definitely good to have. Okay. Oh, no. You're breaking up.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Kind of.
You sound like you're drowning. Are those basketball players really sweating in there?
Yeah, they are. We won girls game 653.
She said Milligan won. Part of it or another.
The girls won. I don't know. The boys are still playing, I think, because they started at 7:30. There's no way they finished in 13 minutes.
They're pretty good.
Madison, did you call with looking for... That's wrong. Did you call looking for advice? Oh, crap. You're still breaking up.
Well,
I
Madison.
did call looking for advice.
All
Okay.
right. There we go.
What?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you.
What's your question, Madison?
This is our worst show ever.
I'm so sorry.
You know, it's definitely not your fault. Madison, can you hear us? Okay,
All right.
I'm just gonna ask you to text me your question, Madison.
Sorry, Madison.
It's okay.
I can,
I can actually hear that.
could hear her now.
Wait, okay, try again.
Just as quickly as you can.
What's your question?
I was asking how you do college. You're dumb.
Oh, well, first of all,
Asking for a friend. Not for me, of course.
What did she say?
she said she's asking for a friend.
No, what was her
Not her,
question?
of course. If college... How do you get through college if you're dumb?
Oh,
First of all,
pray.
yes. If you're going to Milligan College, you're going to have a lot of debt. So, by nature, you are already making a bad decision. Just kidding. We love Milligan here. Enough to stay for... Well, okay, this isn't Milligan's most patriotic in terms of loving Milligan podcast radio show. But I guess just
Quizlet.
if you can find a math student. I'm a math student, but don't come to me for help. And ask them how many tests you need to pass in order to pass the class. And then just focus on those ones.
Yeah.
Don't worry about GPA.
I'll tell my friend that.
Okay, good.
I feel like I'm gonna get a text from Madison after this being like, just worry about your test to pass college.
All right. Well, we're going to have to let you go now, Madison. It's nice to have you on 2 weeks in a row. The only person that's been here more is me and Erin, and in our hearts, Amy.
Yep.
Also, Dalton comes in weekly and ruins something. Well, bye.
I actually saw him at the game. Did you just hang up on me?
We're about to. Bye, Madison.
Goodbye.
Noah, we let her say bye.
It's hard to... I can't remember the order in which we turn off the button and the phone. Press it on the phone thing. It's not a cell phone. I don't actually know what any of the words are for it. There's the little spirally thing.
What?
Okay, we're moving on. Got
Kristen,
about 14 minutes.
Did you come with a conspiracy theory prepared?
I mean, I did a little bit of research
Erin,
on.
stop moving that mic. Just keep it in between you.
I did a little research on the moon landing being a hoax, whether or not it's a hoax or not. You know, one of the classic hoax conspiracy theories out there. To this day, there are still people who believe that we did not land on the moon, that it was all on a soundstage. So I decided to do a little research on, you know, why we have this conspiracy theory. And originally, it was because of a man wrote a book called Did We Land on the Moon? And basically it was about how we set up the moon landing because of our space race with Russia. And they were already sending unmanned spacecrafts up into space. And JFK said, well, we're not going to have any of that. We're going to send a man to the moon. And then they started to think, well, maybe we can't afford this, so why don't we film it on a sound stage? And we'll just keep doing that for a couple of years, and then people will think we did it, and we will officially beat Russia. Because it was in the middle of the Cold War. And to this day, people still believe that possibly Stanley Kubrick directed it, that it was funded by Disney. And they just flat out refused, despite all of the controversy between it. I mean, I have some points made. Some of them are that in the photos there are no stars seen, but scientists have debunked this, saying that because of where the sun is, it's so bright that you couldn't really see stars on the moon.
Neil Armstrong is totally a star. That is celebrity.
I'm gonna tweet out my favorite picture of him. Stay tuned.
Wait, on the official account?
Please follow at Noah and Erin because I'm gonna post some good memes.
Oh no. You can always tell which one of us is posting.
I asked for
Super
memes.
Bowl threats are always Erin.
I can't argue.
Okay.
Not a conspiracy theory.
Continue, Kristen.
Okay. Another one that they argue about is that in some of the photos you can see the letter C on some of the moon rocks, saying that this is like a trademark, copyright kind of thing. But scientists, really their only defense is that it's a glitch. There's a hair on the lens, that there's no way that this could be an actual C marking on a rock. And then there's another one saying that the lengths of the shadows are really strange and that there's no way that it could be different lengths unless it was filmed in a studio. But scientists say that the moon isn't smooth, there's a rocky terrain, and so it's only natural that there will be different heights of the shadows. And then another reason that it couldn't be filmed on a soundstage is because back then the studio lighting that they used would have caused the shadows to be jumbled. And so they would be at different angles, but on the moon where the sun is directed, there's the only way that the shadows could appear is in straight, narrow, same direction positions. So that was one thing against the conspiracy theory. But probably the most popular argument is that the moon does not have wind, but it looks like in the photos that the flag is flapping in the wind. And really the only thing I could see that scientists say in defense is that it's because they were trying to position the pole of the flag right, and it just was a result of them struggling with it. Which
What do flat Earth people think about the moon?
Oh,
Is the moon also flat?
Actually, I found out that let me get the year right, in 1980, the Flat Earth Society were the ones that called out Disney to be supporters, and the Stanley Kubrick theory.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
If I do want someone to film this, though, I do want it to be Disney.
Yeah.
I like that they run the whole world.
They do run the whole world now, so they probably own the moon at this point.
Who owns the other planets?
I mean, they already had Pluto whenever it was a planet, technically.
I would drop the mic if I was allowed to do that.
Tide's been making a lot of money. They can probably buy a planet.
I heard those are
Send some pods there.
Oh, gosh.
Noah is beaming. You have to ask Corinne, like, when you get home, like, what joke did I beam at, and test her to see if she's still listening.
I think she's still listening.
Corinne, I believe in you, but I kind of hope that you're not listening, just because I think that'd be really funny. All right. We have 8 minutes left.
Okay.
I mean, I could say the one of the biggest defenses of how it's not a conspiracy theory is that we apparently, whenever we went up to the moon, we put reflectors on the moon so that whenever NASA would use giant telescopes, the light would...
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Noah just almost jumped out of his seat completely.
Hello? Thanks for interrupting Kristen. We didn't want her to go on any longer.
Hi.
Hey!
It's Corinne!
It's my wonderful wife, Corinne.
Hey, girl.
I just wanted to prove that I am listening. I've been listening the whole time.
What a good wife.
There's a conspiracy. Real convenient. Calls at the end of the show claiming to be listening.
Listen, I believe
I
her.
have been listening the whole time.
Ask Abby when you get home.
You're ruining my show, Corinne, by making me look bad.
You already ruined it.
Oh.
I love this. Corinne, please call every week.
Please don't ever call again, Corinne.
You're the one who was like insulting me at the beginning.
I only insult
I think
family members that aren't listening, Noah.
Well, I guess I just didn't think she would ever listen again.
That's awkward. You should have well, actually, I don't want you to insult Grandpa. You have to
Yeah.
go for, like,
He wouldn't be
Bailey
able to
or
hear.
someone.
Yeah, watch out, Bailey. You suck. Said it right here on the radio.
I'm going to put it on YouTube. Well, he is, but...
You're going to get really cold because you just wear shorts.
Yeah, I saw him actually on the sidewalk earlier last week, and I was really concerned. I was like, Bailey, where's your jacket?
Corinne, are you still there?
Yeah.
Well,
What are your thoughts on Bailey not wearing pants?
I think it's crazy because I hate the cold, and if I was wearing that out there, I'd be freezing. But
I think we need to bring Bailey on and have an intervention. I'm sure I can find a conspiracy theory about pants.
he is a walking conspiracy theory about camps. Pants.
And really,
camp.
you could have a whole debate between him not wearing pants-only shorts and Kenny Suit, who never wears shorts.
Together, they make one actual human being. Corinne, do you have anything else?
Do you have any thoughts on Abraham Lincoln's assassination? Or the moon?
Corinne, do you still love me?
yes, I still love you. That's why I listened this whole time.
In spite of how much you clearly hate my show.
Our show?
You don't even follow it on Twitter.
Speaking of Twitter, I finally tweeted the pic.
Get on Twitter.
Yeah, well, maybe you could at least, I don't know, just leave a page up on your phone, like one of my tweets every now and then.
Okay.
All right. Well, bye.
Didn't let her say bye.
Yep, back on track.
We'll just have to kill Madison.
Yes, the one that got away. What were you saying, Kristen?
Oh, yeah, the moon.
Oh, yeah. Basically, to sum it up, one of the biggest defenses for scientists is that they put reflectors on the moon so that whenever you look in a telescope, one of those big fancy ones, that the light would bounce off the reflectors and into the telescope to prove, hey, guess what? We were on the moon. And all these other countries talked about how they were able to tap into the broadcast when we aired the moon landing. And I guess the only reason that that's a good defense is people questioning why would countries like Australia or Russia confirm that they saw the moon landing. So, but there's still that small demographic that believes that we have not went to the moon and that it was all soundstage.
We should just take them to the moon.
I don't think anyone's been to the moon because if you go to space, you'll find that it's actually quite cold. And there's only one man that could withstand such freezing temperature.
Your brother.
My brother, Bailey. Send him up there. He'll wear his shorts. He'll have a great time, or at least the same amount of fun he seems to have everywhere. And I think that covers it. We are not in sync.
We're not on the same brainwave. I'm just gonna end this, except we still have 3 minutes. Mitchell texted in, our very first caller of the night, saying how Noah is so needy. And I used the handy dandy hold down the screen reaction to the text thing, and I laughed. And I said, LOL, you right. And he said, no, you didn't laugh. I've been listening to the radio. Mitchell, I did laugh, but I did the silent laugh because I'm on the radio.
Mitchell is so needy.
I just want to thank him for listening. He's not married to anyone on this show, and he's tuning in.
That's true. And I can't say that what we have is necessarily content or enjoyable or audible in some cases.
We're literally just here because Noah and I don't see each other all of the time anymore. Last semester.
Yeah, we used to have all our work study hours together. Now we don't.
And we have no classes together.
Because we dropped one.
And Brad's no longer here.
People don't know about Brad.
That's a good thing.
Oh, that's mean. There's so many people named Brad. You're going to hurt someone's feelings.
Mitchell and Corinne are our only listeners besides Kristen's family. Do you have a family member named Brad?
No.
I do. Well.
Mitchell said busted. I'm not sure in terms of what, but we've been busted.
Corinne is texting me, and she seems to think that I didn't actually believe she was listening at all. I was kidding, Corinne. You are pretty good. We love you so much.
If the moon isn't real, what about the moonwalk? Oh, Stephen Branch has made some good points. Oh, Mitchell
It's not real.
responded, Noah and I were on the same Mario Party team in a way that is kind of closer than marriage. Sounds
That is
like
true. That is true.
Noah, Corinne is
You go through a
listening.
lot in marriage, but rarely anyone goes through what Mitchell and I went through in one round of Mario Party. It was brutal. Absolutely brutal. Anyways, we're wrapping up now. Not literally. Unless you want to, Erin?
I don't even know what that means.
Rap?
Oh, one time I rap battled Erin Doolittle and I rhymed rice and nice and I won.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It was on the Thursday show.
Oh, yeah. I was remember that.
You were there.
I think I told you
Mitchell,
guys
you
to
might have been there.
rap about rice. Well,
That was nice.
Noah Parker, Erin Donovan.
That's me, not
and-
you.
Bye.
Wait, you pressed on, not off.